Hello students, welcome in History Civics class. In this video, we will continue the same chapter, chapter 3rd, the Turkish invasion. In previous video, I taught you about Muhammad of Ghazni and his invasions. But in this video, we will know about the Muhammad Ghori and his invasion and how did he establish the Islamic Empire in India and the legend King Prithviraj Chauhan. And today's topic are the motive of Muhammad Ghori's attack, invasion of Muhammad Ghori, battle with Prithviraj Chauhan, the first battle of Tarain and the second battle of Tarain, and foundation of the Delhi Sultanate. Okay, first topic is Muhammad Ghori. After the death of Muhammad Ghori, peace remained in India for about 150 years, and foreign invasions were also negligible. But another Turkish ruler, Muhammad Ghori, was planning to invade India, and Muhammad Ghori was the Sultan of Ghurid Empire, and his full name was Mujoiddin bin Sam, and he was also known the Muhammad of Ghor because Ghor was the place of his city. He was an ambitious ruler and he was not satisfied with only Ghurid Empire and wanted to expand his empire to get hold of more power and control and wanted to conquer India. And his motive was clear that he wanted to establish his empire in India. So his invasion style was different for Mahmud of Ghazni. Although Muhammad bin Qasim and Mahmud of Ghazni both invaded India, firstly, but they could not create a Islamic empire in India. But only Muhammad Ghori was successful to establish a secure and powerful Islamic kingdom in India, and he was the true founder of the Islamic rule in India. And next, okay, let's know about the victory campaign of Muhammad Ghori. So, students, I am giving you some additional information apart from the book. Please listen carefully. The first invasion of Muhammad Ghori was in 1175 when he attacked in Multan and captured it. And during the same year, he also invaded Gujarat, and it was his first attack against a Hindu ruler in India. But he went back to his kingdom. And Muhammad Ghori realized that the main place to conquer India was not Sindh and Multan, but it was Punjab. So, in 1179, he captured Peshawar, and Khusro Malik was the ruler of Punjab, and he belonged to the Ghazni dynasty. He was defeated and killed by Muhammad Ghori, and he captured Punjab in 1192 and moved forward to his victory campaign, and he challenged to the Rajput kingdoms. Almost North India was ruled by Rajput kingdom, and the five Rajput kingdoms, the Rathors, Kannauj, Chauhan, Delhi and Ajmer, Solankis belonged to Gujarat, Parmars belonged to Malwa, and Chandels belonged to Bundelkhand, were stood in Ghori's path. Although the all Rajput kings were brave and courageous and powerful, but major problem was there there was no unity among them. They were always fight and engaged in conspiracy against each other. And Muhammad Ghori, who well aware of India's political, religious, social and military weaknesses, and he took the advantage of these weaknesses and conquered India. Next point is battle with Prithviraj Chauhan. Okay, let's know about the Prithviraj Chauhan. Muhammad Ghori was continuously moving forward to his victory campaign in 1991 to conquer the whole of India, and Ghori marched towards Delhi, and at that time the legend King Prithviraj Chauhan was the ruler of Delhi and Ajmer, who stopped his victory campaign, and Ghori faced a steep resistance from the Prithviraj Chauhan. The story of Prithviraj Chauhan has described in Prithviraj Raso, which was written by his court poet Chand Bardai. And Chand Bardai was also the best friend of Prithviraj Chauhan. And I tell you about the Prithviraj Chauhan in brief. Please listen. Prithviraj Chauhan is considered one of the greatest and legend ruler of Indian history. He was very brave and intelligent, child-blessed, and with a sharp military skills. And his whole life was a continuous chain of bravery, courage, and glorious exploits. And he had the skill of hitting the target only the basis of sound. And it is said that he once killed a lion on his own without any weapon, and he was master in archery. And in this way, many of glories are recorded of his life in history in golden letters. Okay, now let's move towards the first battle of Tarain. The first battle of Tarain was fought in 1191, a place near Karnal in the present Haryana state of India. In this battle, Ghori was badly injured and defeated, and he fled back to his country, and Prithviraj Chauhan left Ghori alive because he believed in war ethics, and it proved to be a biggest mistake of his life. The second battle of Tarain. The second battle of Tarain was fought in 1192, and Muhammad Ghori invaded India again with his excellent war strategy. And this time he came with an army of 1,20,000 soldiers, which are included the help of Turks, Afghans, Persians. And in the second battle of Tarain, Prithviraj Chauhan could not restrain the strong army of Ghori. And the another enemy of Prithviraj Chauhan, the King Jaichand, was the ruler of Kannauj, also helped to Ghori against the Prithviraj. And then Ghori's army quite easily routed the Rajput army, and Muhammad Ghori defeated Prithviraj Chauhan and he captured and killed. And this was the end of mighty Rajput rulers in North India, and paving the way for the foundation of Turkish ruler in India. And next point is the foundation of the Delhi Sultanate. After defeating Prithviraj Chauhan, his son Gola was appointed as a ruler. But he was only puppet king, means he had no rights. And Muhammad Ghori left his trusted slave Qutbuddin Aibak in charge of administration, and then after he went back to his country, but he returned again to India in 1204, and after his death his trusted slave Qutbuddin Aibak took the advantage of this opportunity and laid the foundation of Delhi Sultanate. In this way, the Ghaurian established their suzerainty in North India, but still their position was not strong. Therefore, many conquered areas left out from their control, and it took several decades for them to re-establish their rule. So students, in this way our third chapter is also completed, and hope you are making notes properly at your home, and you have to read the chapter also and learn the back exercises of chapter 1st, 2nd and 3rd. This is your homework. Okay, thanks, bye.